Hey guys, KillerJake99 here, and welcome back to Fallout 4 Contraptions. I had a request on my latest video for Contraptions, the first one, of course, to kind of show off a little bit how the machines work, since I understood it a little better than another YouTuber that did a tutorial. It's not that big of a deal. I spent a lot of time during my live stream, and I learned a lot, and I tried to explain a little bit about how certain things worked as a comment, and I got requested to turn it into a full video. So that is what I'm going to do. Now, to make this much easier, I'm going to head over to Grey Garden, as that is my main hub. Not my main hub, but it's my home. And what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be showing off how some of the machines work, how they can be used in a better way, a more convenient way, and some of the different features that you can add that would make it a little bit simpler to manufacture different items. Additionally, this is just kind of what I'm working with at the moment. This is my home in what I call Fort Grey Garden, although it's nothing really special right now, just my house, which I need to change a little bit. But we're going to go up there. In fact, at some point, I'm probably going to end up just making a ladder to make this whole process a lot easier. And I do have to completely rewire this entire area, so maybe I will show off a little bit of the electrical stuff as well. But we're going to start with machines. So to start with, hey, the door works, sweet. And the light works. This took a lot of finagling to get right, but with the introduction of the new system for electricity, this can all be made a lot easier, which I appreciate. I'm going to go to the roof. And you know what? This location looks, let's go up one more. Alright, this is a nice place to kind of demonstrate how everything works. So, we're going to start, the size of this area isn't very good, but it doesn't matter. We're going to go to crafting, and we're going to place an armor workbench here. We're going to need to come back to that later. Now, machines should be in... They are not here, because I'm a moron. They are in... Power, damn it. Okay. Now, manufacturing is where you want to go. We're going to start with a machine. There's Builder, which just builds random items. Armor Forge, Weapon Forge, Auto Loom, which builds clothes. Energy Weapon Forge, Heavy Weapon Forge, Ammunition Plant, Explosives Mill, which creates explosives, but you need to have 2 ranks in Demolitions Expert. Pyrotechnics Mill, which is for firework shells. A food processor, which does require a lot more than you would think, and it's not as useful as one would assume. So we're going to go with the ammunition plant, because that is by far my favorite. It's the most useful. Oh, I need to move this. Okay. Next, we are going to grab... Let's see, what do we want? We want, back into manufacturing, we want not a hopper, not a sorter, we want a vacuum hopper. This will be useful in a moment. So let's move this down a little bit further. Vacuum hopper is just for convenience. You don't really need them. Conveyor storage, this is very important later. I would suggest grabbing one of those. Component sorter and sorters don't really matter for what I'm attempting to show. And conveyor belts, you don't really need a whole lot. You just need conveyor belts. There's different models. You have a right turn, you have a left turn, you have right and left branch, meaning that they will branch outward in some direction. Hold on. Are they not? Hello? Is this the wrong way? What the fuck? Is Piper following me around? I don't see her. Okay, I don't know why this isn't working all of a sudden. You're gonna want to basically just complete these. Now, if you use this, it looks like it branches out here, although this isn't really useful. It doesn't really do much. Last time I checked, rollers were pretty ass. You got these lifts. You don't really need these lifts unless you're going up, or unless you plan on dropping stuff, which with this setup you don't need to drop stuff at all. So let's go back to the straight conveyor belts. There are longer ones, which is helpful. Oh, did that work? Yeah, it did. Okay. Conveyor storage. Really useful. Now, additionally, we're going to need a some sort of container. So, the one I know that works is the storage chest, but we can try some other ones. Let's try a footlocker. Okay. So now, we need a terminal. So I'm going to go down to my terminal.
Yeah?
What the fuck are you doing in my house? So with the terminal, we're going to make the ammunition plant create, what kind of ammo do we want? Let's do shotgun shells. Alright, so now I need lead, plastic, and fertilizer. Okay. Oh, additionally, I want to change the hopper so that it outputs faster, and so that the force is higher. Although the output force doesn't really matter. Well, let's just put this stuff in here. So the fertilizer and plastic, the vacuum hopper will pull it out of the container, and it'll put on here. It will only do the first one. It'll go in alphabetical order. So it'll get rid of all of the fertilizer one at a time until it's done, and then it'll work on the plastic. So it's not that convenient, but I mean, if you have like a large storage chest, or if you have multiple chests, it could work. In fact, I'm gonna test that out now to see if it'll do that. However, it is no longer taking any of the fertilizer. So what if I put this on top of here? It doesn't look like it wants to take these items. However, now let me just pause that for a second. Okay. No, stop that. Okay. That should work. Now, if I have these two things here, we shouldn't have any issues. They should be pulling out the fertilizer, and they should be pulling out the plastic. And now, this should drop the plastic. Okay. Okay. Well, now issue. It's still too far forward. So we want to change the ammunition plant control to, let's say, 3 rounds. That requires steel and fertilizer. To make this faster, we can put half in one. Approximately half, obviously. And half in the other. And now, what it should be doing is pushing all the steel out very quickly. Oh, and see, now this is creating what it can with what it has in it. And then these little 10 packages of 3.38 rounds are going along the conveyor belt at a decent pace, and they're ending up in the conveyor storage. Now, this conveyor storage is very convenient because you can put it in there. Now, I do believe I'm not quite sure, but this is the most convenient way to not have like a complete fucking mess all over the place from materials. And it looks like the steel is dropping rather consistently in the same location, or approximately. Now, there is one more thing that I wanted to show in this little tutorial for some of the features, not all of them, because I'm not an expert. And for that, we need to go back to Starlight Drive-In. So we'll do that the easy way. And I kind of just remembered that that is not the easy way because I saved here. When Bethesda created these elevators, they made them specialized to one particular type of structure. So, for example, I'm going to find these elevators. Now, we'll do a 2-floor elevator just to kind of prove my point. So, when you place this, let's say you want to do concrete, yeah? Floors snap to it, no problem. Okay? That's not the issue. The issue then comes with walls. Now, don't know why, but elevators were made to be larger than the concrete. So, yeah, you can make these floors and attach them to it. That was a roof. You can make these floors and attach it to the thing, and it'd be fine, right? But it's when you try to build walls up around it, you get these gaps. So, when you try to put them in pre-existing structures, such as the tower that I have over here, it becomes a huge burden. Now, this one I didn't actually change, because I played around with it a little bit, and it turned out that stairs were just more convenient than the elevators. And that's not how it should be. The reason we have elevators is so that it should be more convenient for everyone. And it's not. So if these don't snap to concrete walls, well, maybe they'll snap to wood. I mean, it would make sense, right? Or maybe it doesn't, I don't know. But no, they don't snap to wood either. Now, we could try metal. Metal would make sense, right? Although, metal's too small as well. Okay, so what does it snap to then? Well, warehouse. Perfect size. What about barn? Again, perfect size. Because they were built to be taller than the normal standard structures. So, if that's the case, then why should you put an elevator in your house? Well, the answer is simple. You shouldn't. If you're building a warehouse, or if you're building a barn, or if you're building a house out of those materials, an elevator is definitely going to be more convenient for you. However, if you have a pre-built structure, and you try to build it out of wood, metal, or concrete, you will have issues. Yes, you could. Now, the flooring is not the problem. So you can build the floor out of whatever you want. You can have a wooden floor, you can have a concrete floor, you can have a metal floor. But if you want the outside to not look completely stupid. Now, granted, the walls aren't that bad. You can get, like, fully paned. Hold on. You can get fully paned glass walls with wood. It's not horrible. They do have these metal corrugated sheets on the bottom of them that don't look extremely attractive, but yeah. So if you don't want your house to look completely horrible, like you just didn't bother building it correctly, you know, don't build out of concrete, wood, or metal. Build it out of warehouse or barn if you really want to have an elevator. Unless you build an external elevator. Fuck off music. Unless you build an external elevator. So let's say I want to build let's build a little platform here. Now I want an elevator. Okay. So let's build a little external elevator here. Perfect. It snaps. No issue. Although you don't get to see the entire elevator, but that's not that big of a deal. Now, alright, so this is where you want your elevator. Okay, fair enough, right? Now if you go in it, and you choose second floor. No, second floor. I mean, it's not that bad, right? Now, the biggest issue is that how are you going to get in? Now, what you could do, of course, is you could just back out, go to warehouse, go to, let's say, walls, build yourself a little elevator shaft, okay? And then, fuck. I'm just going to try, I'm trying and testing this, because if it doesn't work, then we're going to have some serious problems. Alright, my point stands. Okay, you build a little elevator shaft. It's not that big of a deal. And then, I mean, you won't be able to close off this area, which is kind of irritating. Kind of a pain in the ass. All in all, your elevator is going to have to be external. You're going to have to build to them. And overall, not going to be a pleasant experience with elevators if you're choosing not to use the structures that they work with. So, other than that, scaffolding, huge pain in the ass. No real point in using it besides stairs, unless you are using it for aesthetics or you use the prefabs, which aren't really helpful either. The only really good thing about the scaffolding is the different stairs and the ramps and stuff. The other good thing about this particular DLC is the ball track doesn't do fuck all. It's really worthless. And when it comes to everything else, when it comes to like power, this is my favorite thing. It's right here. This little conduit, this whole setup, it is a way to power your house that doesn't power everything in your house like it does with the normal conduits. And it's a way to power things through walls and just make everything in your life easier. I could do a little tutorial on how to use these. Frankly, I'm not an expert yet. I'm going to power up my entire house in Grey Garden and see how that goes. But until then, I'm pretty much going blind. Other than that, some of these other small items, fireworks, I haven't used, and I don't really plan to because there's no real point. Lights, nothing new. Logic gates, I don't even know how to use these. I find it really complicated, and I don't want to try yet. And then you just got these arrows and stuff. So, all in all, that's my tutorial for both using conveyor belts effectively and elevators, which I find to be a massive pain in the ass, and a very large inconvenience. So, other than that, the only real useful additions are the displays. And these could have easily been modded in, although the more professional use is definitely appreciated. Honestly, the power armor display, the different colors, they're neat. I particularly like red and blacks, so these will definitely be used by me. And the weapon racks I'll be using them. I don't know how much I like them at the moment. Other than that, there's nothing really substantial here. You got the machines to automate stuff, which could potentially be useful in the future. You've got different things that, different electricity, which is certainly useful, and you've got display stands. Other than that, the ball track doesn't really do anything. The logic gates, I don't know how to use them, but I'm sure that they can be used to make some pretty creative stuff. And on top of that, there's not much else here. All in all, I think if this was paired with the first Wasteland Workshop, people would have been much happier. And people would have been much more willing to spend, say, $7 to $10 on this DLC. Although $5 would have been better, definitely. But you would have gotten more sales, Bethesda, if you would put this in with the other Wasteland Workshop. And some people are saying this is what Wasteland Workshop should have been. Yes and no. This is what it could have been. And all of this should have been included in the first one. And that's what it should have been. All of the same assets being able to be placed in the settlement mode, plus all of the new things. Unfortunately, my biggest peeve with this DLC is the elevators that don't snap to pre-built structures because they are too big for what we have. I would like a new one, a new elevator, a smaller elevator, right here. Just not size-wise, like not how many floors it supports, just how tall those floors are, because there's no need for them to be this large for a home, because it would just screw up everything. So really, that needs to get fixed. It is upsetting, to say the least, that this is what we've got. It is rather disappointing to think that the elevators that we got don't work on the structures we've built. And it kind of takes away from the whole point of having elevators in the first place. And this thing needs to turn way the fuck off.
Got work to do. Can't talk.
Don't talk to me. Shut up, Piper. Shut up, Piper. I don't care, Piper! Anyway. I mean, yeah, you've got ball stuff. Good for you. Congratulations. The most I'll be doing with this ball track is I'll probably do some little ball thing here, and then once it hits something, it fires off fireworks. That's to the extent I'll be doing it, because this is otherwise useless. It is otherwise pointless. There's no reason to have it. Anyway, that's been my tutorial on elevators and contraptions in general, and my overall opinions on it and what it should have turned into. Thank you to those who suggested it. This is my first tutorial video ever, and it wasn't bad. I guess I'll have to see what the reception is to determine if this is something I want to do more of in the future. With that, I appreciate suggesting this to me, and I'm glad to be given the opportunity to create something that you enjoy. So, thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, comment on how you think I did with this tutorial review video. I don't know exactly what it is. It started off as a tutorial. It turned into a little bit of a review. Anyway, keep on the lookout for more Contraptions videos coming out over the next week or so. I have 9 total videos that will be released. Yeah. So, thank you. And I hope that this was informative and enjoyable. And I apologize that I'm not an expert. You know, I tried my best. And I appreciate that, that you took the time to watch this. So, with that, goodbye.